Hey, Blazing Minds people. Leigh here. Sorry, it's been a while. I've been moving. I'm still trying to get things sorted, really. So, it's been quite hectic over here. So I've just come back from a weekend away, and I thought I'd record. I wanted to try and do something to try and make up for the videos I've missed over the past couple of months. And when deciding on what to do, I kind of came across this idea, which kind of stemmed from the fact that I find it very easy to say negative things about films, even films I really love. I find it easy to go towards those negatives, and that's an easy film thing to do with films. I think to be negative and to think about the films that you dislike, I find that easy. So in an effort to kind of be more positive, I wanted to talk about some films that I really love, like films that mean a lot to me for a multitude of reasons. So yeah, that's what this is. This is me talking for 5 minutes about some films I completely and utterly love in complete earnest. This isn't a review, it isn't a critique. I'm not looking for sins or anything wrong with the film. I just want to talk 5 minutes about some films that I really, really love. So, thinking about how to do this, I wasn't sure. So I kind of went to my old list, favourite films of the years I've been alive. So basically going back to 1989, picking a film from each year that I would call my favourite or best of that year. Some of them I ranked based on my nostalgic view on them, some of them ranked on my personal thoughts. So, yeah, anyway. Starting off, I wasn't sure which way to do this, so I thought I'd go with the start and talk about 1989. 1989 is like a really easy answer for me, and it's pure nostalgia, it's pure how I feel on the subject, and it is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is growing up, there were a handful of films, about 10 films that I would have watched over and over and over again, and Indiana Jones was one of those films. It's a film I would have happily watched every day, and probably watched at least once a month, and would continue to watch once a month now if it wasn't for the Netflix and having money means I can buy DVDs. So I want to say that it was a big film for my childhood. It was also the only Indiana Jones films I'd watched until I was about 14 years old. I was aware of Raiders and the big boulder scene, and I was very confused, and I was like, Indiana Jones, big boulder, and I was like, what? So, for a very long time, I was very confused about the whole Indiana Jones thing, because this was the only one I'd watched. Going into my teenage years after I'd watched the originals, again, the kind of connection with these films still stands. I used to work as a pot washer in a restaurant, and I had a friend who worked in a bar just up the road, and every Saturday night I'd get paid in cash and go to the bar my friend worked at and sit there till early hours in the morning drinking, and obviously I'd get fairly drunk, and he lived across the road from where the bar he worked at, so we'd literally go to his house, and I would fall asleep or pass out on the sofa every Saturday night to an Indiana Jones film. We'd pick an Indiana Jones film to watch, one of the three. Even going into my teenage years, these films and this one still has a big connection to me. The Last Crusade sits as my favourite of the Indiana Jones films. It's purely nostalgic. I'm not trying to pretend it's anything other than nostalgic. It is. I just have such a familiarity and such a love for this film. It purely comes down to the fact that I've watched it a billion times. I can tell you everything that's going to happen. And I think this film is just, I find this film to be pure fun. This is a purely fun. When they talk about Indiana Jones being these fun pulp movies, this movie does it perfectly for me. Everything from the dialogue, the way Indiana Jones is, throwing people out of blimps and no ticket, everything, and that Indiana Jones was something that had a massive impression on me. Such a point that when I was young, I wanted to be an archaeologist, and then I grew up and found out it's all sweeping bones and knowing stuff and not whip-cracking action, and I lost interest. Even now, I mean, the fact that I am always wear a hat comes from Indiana Jones, and it comes from this film. He wore the fedora, and that kind of attachment to a hat comes from these films. Like I said, everything in this film, from the way it opens, explaining his origin story on the train with the lion, the entire scene is just fun. It instills that sense of honor in him straight away that we see, and the way it kind of cuts from when he gets hit and gets the hat put on him, and he looks up and he's an old man. I always enjoyed that match cut. From that to the scenes in Venice when, after literally starting off in a school and saying X never marks the spot, 20 minutes later he's standing above a thing saying X marks the spot. That kind of bringing the plot across, I always enjoyed it. As a child, as an adolescent, it still makes me smile thinking about these scenes. They have such a big mark on me. The action scenes with the tank and going off the cliff, I really enjoy and I find really exciting. And when I think of big action scenes and chase sequences, these are the scenes that come into my mind. These are what I think about. Sean Connery's role in this film it was kind of my big introduction to Sean Connery. And it's still the role I still see him in that little hat. And sitting in the tank, the pen is mightier than the sword. And the scenes of Indiana Jones and his father, I can't get my words out straight. This film just turns me, I want to go watch it now. And I just watched it to do this video. That's just how much I love this film. The scene when they are, Indiana Jones and his dad Henry, are tied to chairs together and the room is burning and the wall that moves around, the Nazi palace, like the Nazi death machine. It's ridiculous. It's pure ridiculousness. People talk about big, dumb, leave your brain off movies, and they think about the Transformers franchise, and those aren't leave your brain off movies. They are so stupid and so out of the way. I didn't want to slag for the films, but they are so overwhelmingly stupid. There's so much going on that they expect you to leave your brain off and just not think about it. That's not what a leave your brain off movie should be. A leave your brain off movie should be, you shouldn't have to think about it. It's easy enough just by watching it. Indiana Jones is tied to a chair with his dad, who he doesn't really get along with. And you get even the introduction to Henry Sr., when he smashes him over the head with the pot, and immediately it's fake, and I'm a babbling mess talking about this film, because it's the type of movie that I can't even think to describe it. It's just, I love this movie. It's nostalgic, and people can say Raiders is better, but Last Crusade is always the Indiana Jones film for me. And I realise that's because of my childhood affliction with it, but, you know, so what? It's... See, I want to carry on. I've been sat here for 20 minutes babbling about this film, and I want to carry on talking about it. And there's so much in this film that I love. I can't even sit here and I want to say it's not perfect, this, and I can't think of anything to say. To me, this film is perfect. I realise it's not perfect, and someone down the line will be like, well, actually this. But you can go, stuff yourself. This one's perfect to me. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. The first in this potential new series, maybe. Yeah. I'm going to carry on. Next week I'm going to pick another film to talk about. Well, not next week. Next time. I'm going to pick another film to talk about that will be another one of my favourite movies. My favourite movie of 1990. There you go. My favourite movie of 1990. So go have a look. See if you can guess what it is. Hit me up on Twitter if you think you can guess what film I'm going to talk about next week. Yeah. That's it. If you haven't seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I'm sorry for spoiling it. I tried not to spoil it. If you haven't seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, go watch it. It's great. I'll speak to you next time. Leigh Jones out.